At the end of the day, it is the Prime Minister who is responsible for visiting heads of state. President Zelenskyy came here expecting a warm welcome and a successful visit. But due to the Prime Minister's haphazard management of this visit, he instead turned it into a diplomatic nightmare. This has played straight into Russia's disinformation campaign against Ukraine. The Prime Minister must accept full responsibility. Will he publicly apologize to President Zelenskyy today for his failure?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I just apologized on behalf of parliamentarians and Canadians. We will continue to be there to stand with President Zelenskyy and Ukrainians.
The Honourable Member for Selkirk-Interlake Eastman.
The Prime Minister has a duty of care to protect President Zelenskyy when he was right here in Canada. The Parliamentary Protective Service, the RCMP, the Privy Council Office, the Protocol Office all report to the Prime Minister. Because of his failure to fulfill his personal responsibilities, the Prime Minister has harmed Canada's reputation on the world stage. He broke trust with the Jewish and Ukrainian communities. He's undermined Ukraine in this war, and he's provided fuel for Putin's propaganda machine. So will the Prime Minister admit he was negligent, apologize to President Zelenskyy, the Ukrainian people, and indeed to all Canadians?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Do you know who doesn't report to the Prime Minister in our parliamentary system? The Speaker of the House of Commons, Mr. Speaker. It is well established that the independence of the Speaker is sacrosanct. Now, if the Leader of the Opposition wants to change that, let him stand up and say that, Mr. Speaker. We will continue to defend the principles and the rights of parliamentarians, even as we stand with Ukraine against the illegal invasion by Russia.
Hear, hear.
Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister claims that his government has nothing to do with security for a state visit in this chamber. But this is the agreement that your office signed with the RCMP. The RCMP will lead integrated security operations throughout the parliamentary precinct and on the grounds of Parliament Hill. So his police agency, which reports to his public safety minister, is responsible for the security and therefore, by necessity, the vetting of anyone who comes within just 10 or 20 feet of a foreign head of state that is an obvious target of assassination. So, will the Prime Minister take responsibility for this massive security and diplomatic meltdown that happened under his watch?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as you know, the Parliamentary Protective Services are engaged and have ensured the safety and the physical safety of everyone in this room. But I would actually suggest and would like, perhaps, when the Leader of the Opposition gets up again, could he say the name Volodymyr Zelenskyy and actually speak about Ukraine? We'd very much like to hear that for once from the Leader of the Opposition.
Hear, 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 hear.
The Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
He'd been listening and not hiding. He would have heard me mention President Zelenskyy many times, in particular, the damage that he's caused President Zelenskyy. The question was about the RCMP vetting. Nobody's suggesting that the 98-year-old Nazi was a security threat, but had he been vetted, even with a Google search, it would have been known that he was a Nazi, and this massive, unprecedented global embarrassment might have been avoided. It is the responsibility of the police service of the Prime Minister's government. Why didn't the Prime Minister ensure that his police services were doing their jobs?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the former Speaker of this House of Commons invited an individual without apparently doing that Google search. But it is not up to the government of the day to oversee or to have a veto power over those who the Speaker or indeed members of official parties choose to invite into this House. If you want to change hundreds of years of parliamentary privilege and Westminster democracy, then absolutely, let's have a debate about that. But, Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we respect the independence of the Speaker's office.
The Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
We don't have to change hundreds of years of tradition. This rule is already in place. The House of Commons has already given the authority to the RCMP to lead integrated security operations throughout the parliamentary precinct and on the grounds of Parliament Hill. And that means that logically, if a foreign head of state were here giving a speech while that head of state is at war, that we would ensure that the RCMP would vet the people who become within 10 or 20 feet of that individual. My question one more time is, why didn't the government's police services under this Prime Minister's leadership do its job?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the hardworking women and men of the Parliamentary Protective Services ensured the safety of everyone in this room by thoroughly clearing through metal detectors and security everyone who came into this room. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to the respect for the independence and the authority of the Speaker, this government, Mr. Speaker, will continue to respect the independence of the Speaker's office and therefore the responsibility of the Speaker in this matter.